Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm looking at the Cleveland Browns and determining who I think they should draft in the first round of the upcoming 2021 NFL Draft, where the Browns have the 26th pick in the first round. But before getting into that topic, comment down below, those of you viewing, question for those of you viewing, comment down below your dream pick for the Cleveland Browns. It's a little out of reach, but miracles happen, and your realistic pick for the Browns. Who do you want to see them take in the first round? Dream pick and realistic pick. Comment it down below. And getting into the topic, in my opinion, who they should be aiming for at 26. A couple guys I think they'll be looking at is, of course, on the defensive side of the football. I really don't think they'll go offense. I mean, you got the best backfield in the NFL between Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. You're not looking at a running back, that's for sure. Offensive line is the highest paid in the NFL and is one of the best in the NFL. I guess if a top guy falls, like an Elijah Vera Tucker, Christian Barmore, they might consider it because that's just really big talent falling all the way down to the late 20s. But still, I don't see them going offense. And then there's some receivers: Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts. Those will be gone. They might consider Kadarius Toney, a really athletic receiver from Florida that has a lot of upside. So there is some options if they go on offense, but I just don't see them doing that. I seriously think they'll be looking at the defense and the defensive line, especially kind of the three biggest defensive linemen and pass rushers in the upcoming draft. It's Kwity Paye and Jalen Phillips and Gregory Rousseau. I think, in my opinion, they're going to go one of those three players, just whichever one of them falls. There's a good chance out of all three, none of them fall to 26 out of the Cleveland Browns. And I think if that happens, they'll go the route of looking at Christian Barmore from Alabama, a big defensive tackle that could be a big clog for that defensive line that stops the run game. They need size in the defensive line, but they have Myles Garrett, they have Sheldon Richardson, they have Malik Jackson, they have Takkarist McKinley, and if you add a Christian Barmore and then you even add a Jadeveon Clowney, that's looking like a really scary defensive line. And even if they don't get the Christian Barmore route and get a little bit of luck and get a Gregory Rousseau or Jalen Phillips or Kwity Paye, and then you add a Jadeveon Clowney, like I said, that is a scary defensive line with a top pass Russian rookie, Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, who I know has had his overrated instances, but he's still a good player, and I don't want to bank on that because I still don't know if that will happen, but it's just a possibility. Even if they don't get Jadeveon Clowney, a defensive line between Christian Barmore, Jalen Phillips, or Gregory Rousseau, Kwity Paye, whoever you want to say it is, and then it's Takkarist McKinley and Myles Garrett. Like I said, that defensive line is very, very stout. But if they're not looking at the line, if they're happy with their additions of Malik Jackson and Takkarist McKinley, they might look in the secondary. Maybe a corner such as Asante Samuel. It's kind of a debate. Is he going to be a late first-round pick? Is he going to be an early second-round pick? Either way, he's a great physical guy that could be a great number 2 receiver on this Browns team behind Denzel Ward. You already started adding pieces to the secondary. You had Denzel Ward being your number 1 guy. Then you added Troy Hill and John Johnson, great safety and great slot corner. And hopefully Greedy Williams is healthy. But like I said, adding Asante Samuel, he doesn't have to come in and be your number 1 guy, but he could be a great number 2 corner on a well-coached team in Kevin Stefanski. So overall, I definitely think this is going to be a defensive pick in my mind, unless just some huge top offensive talent falls. A couple other guys that they might get lucky if they fall is Caleb Farley. A few months ago, he was neck and neck with Patrick Surtain of who's the top corner in this upcoming NFL draft. Now he's starting to slip back in a lot of draft boards, and if he somehow falls all the way to 26, he's already came out and said every team he falls by, he's going to remember and get his revenge game, whatever it is. But the Browns would be the perfect team to sweep him up and take the. I don't even think it's a risk on Caleb Farley. He's having a minor back surgery, still going to be a first-round pick, and if a team lets him fall to 26, I don't think the Browns will let him fall any further, even if they did want defensive line. A talent like Caleb Farley, who was arguably the number 1 corner in the defensive draft 1 to 2 months ago, I think the Browns will definitely sweep him up, and that'll be a great pick who might be fighting for the number 1 spot in Denzel Ward, and that is a good problem to have if it were Cleveland Browns. But in my realistic scenario, I do think there's a chance Gregory Rousseau or Jalen Phillips or Kwity Paye will fall. If I had to guess, I think Kwity Paye will be the first of the 3 taken, and the Browns are going to be hoping for a Rousseau or Phillips, both guys from Miami. I'd like to see him get Rousseau. He's got big size, he's really athletic, and I just think he'd be almost a little brother to Myles Garrett. That Myles Garrett could help teach and coach and mentor and really create an intense pass rush on this Browns team. And like I said, if you get a defensive line with Myles Garrett, Gregory Rousseau, Malik Jackson, Sheldon Richardson, Takkarist McKinley, and Jadeveon Clowney, not only is there star power, but there's depth on that defensive line, and that is huge. That's why the Buccaneers did so good in the Super Bowl and got pass rush on Kansas City Chiefs. They had they had star power in JPP and Shaq Barrett, but then they had depth as well with William Golston, Vita Vea, Ndamukong Suh. The Browns want to go that route and have one of the best defensive line in the NFL. They need a hint of star power and they need a hint of depth just to go all around. And I think in the draft they can execute that in round 1. Of course, like I said, I don't want to bank on Jadeveon Clowney, but if they somehow pulled off both of getting Clowney and a defensive pass rusher in this first round, watch out for this Browns defense to be a top 10, top 5 defense if it clicks together. On paper, it's going to look good, but we have to see it on field. And then, like I said, they don't go that route. Maybe if they get a Jadeveon Clowney, and then they might want to go secondary. They might want to look at Asante Samuel Jr. from FSU. Like I said, a great physical guy. Doesn't have the biggest size. I believe he's 5'10", so that I don't want to say that's an issue. There's been short corners in before. If you guys remember Brent Grimes for a few years ago, it's not like it's going to hold him back completely. It is just possibly a small factor that might determine if you draft him or don't draft him. But to me, if he's looking at as a late first round pick, the Browns could be looking at a physical guy, like I said, that could play the number 2 corner in this team. A lot of people don't like Troy Hill as possibly being the number 2 guy, and a lot of people don't like Greedy Williams' health issues and if he'll be back in time. So Asante Samuel, that is a perfect situation to me. So like I said, Asante Samuel Jr. or Caleb Farley in the secondary would be my backup picks. Well, Caleb Farley, if he falls to 26, he's my number 1 pick. So in order, if Caleb Farley is available, I'm going Caleb Farley as my number 1 pick. Number 2 option would be a Gregory Rousseau, Jalen Phillips, or Kwity Paye. If one of those fall to me, more likely than not, I think a Rousseau is going to be available for the Browns. So to probably go Farley, Rousseau, and of course Phillips and Kwity Paye. And then third, I would probably go Christian Barmore. Then fourth, Asante Samuel Jr. It gives you a pretty good amount of backup plans. There's no way of those 5 or 6 guys, none of them are available for the Browns. You need a little bit of luck to get that top guy in a Jalen Phillips or a Caleb Farley, but still a backup plan of having Christian Barmore, Asante Samuel Jr. This Browns team is going to have a very dangerous team. And like I said, they can always explore offense. I don't think it'll happen, but if somehow, some way, and Elijah Vera Tucker falls, or Micah Parsons been falling on boards, I know he's on defense, or they like a Kadarius Toney or a Devontae Smith falls, I don't think this will happen. A Kendall Moore, I'm just saying they can go offense. I just don't think that's their top priority. Like I said, best backfield, top offensive line, top 10 quarterback, or receiving core with a healthy OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Rashard Higgins, Austin Hooper, David Njoku. You don't seem to need too much help on offense. And on defense, they've done a lot this season. Like I said, adding Troy Hill, John Johnson, Malik Jackson, Takarius McKinley, and the defense is looking relatively just as good as offense. And like I said, it's all well coached. And Kevin Stefanski, at this point, you're just adding depth and a little bit of star power to the Browns team. There's no gaping holes, a linebacker core possibly, but I think in first round it's going to go defensive line or secondary. But like I said, comment down below, guys, your thoughts in the question. My dream pick for them would be Caleb Farley. I just don't see him falling that far. And my realistic pick would probably be Gregory Rousseau or Christian Barmore. But let me know, guys, in the comments. Like I said, your dream pick for the Browns is a little out of reach, but who knows? Anything can happen. In your realistic pick of who you think you'll probably more likely get at 26. And again, thanks for watching, guys. I know we always say it, but we truly appreciate you guys viewing our videos. 2-minute warning.